Hey everyone, Ryan here, representing Team Rhino. I wanted to make a video today about the program BitConnect. Um, I've been doing BitConnect for about almost 4 months, um, and it has been extremely profitable. It's all about investing with Bitcoin and lending out Bitcoin so that you earn a daily interest rate on whatever amount you have invested. So I want to explain a little bit about that today. Um, if you're not signed up, or if with BitConnect, you can definitely click the link in the description and get signed up. There's nothing, it's easy to sign up. It's free, but that's the first step if you are interested in this. It makes roughly about 1% a day on average. Actually, more like 0.95, zero point 0.9, something like that. So, but I'll show you that more as we go. But I want to kind of just give you a little bit of a description of what it is, and also, and this is probably the most important piece of it, is explain how compound interest works, because that is the key to this entire program. If you sign up, you'll be on my Team Rhino. You're going to have access to a group chat to where we do is talk about BitConnect and how to get started, how to grow your team. Tons of people on there, and that's what we do. That's what we're doing every day, is just trying to help people get started, answering questions, troubleshooting, all those things. The BitConnect program itself does have a great support team, but rather than waiting, 24 hours or so, I like to have a group chat where there's pretty much somebody always available on there, for the most part. So people from all over the world. So let me go ahead and jump in here. I'm going to kind of give you an idea of how this works. I'm going to first go to the dashboard of the program. You can see here you've got three wallets: a lending wallet, a BitConnect wallet, and a Bitcoin wallet. So step one with this entire program is first to sign up. That's the easy part. The next part is to have some Bitcoin, and so the way that you can acquire Bitcoin is through mining, which a lot of people have done. If you're not familiar with mining, probably the another very or easy step is to go through an exchange. There's a lot of different exchanges out there, Bitcoin exchanges, to where you can buy Bitcoin with a credit card or a bank account, things like that. But what you want to do is buy some Bitcoin and then from your exchange, and then transfer it to this platform, and it will go into your BitConnect wallet. Once you have money in there, you're going to, and let me just show you real quick that there's different amounts that you can invest. So the minimum, and I'm going to focus probably more on the minimum investment today, because I think that's probably what most people are going to be able to do or willing to do. Obviously, if you can invest more, you're going to be able to make more sooner. But let me just show you. So $100 to $1,000 investment is a 299-day term. Now, what that means is you'll get that money back at the end of 299 days. You'll keep all the interest that you make every single day, but on day 300, the platform will actually send your initial investment back to you. You can do larger amounts, for instance, 1,010 to 5,000. If you do a deposit within those ranges, you get the daily interest plus an extra 0.1% each day. So that's a nice bonus. They only hold that money for 239 days. So on day 240, let's say you put in $2,000 to begin with. 240 days later, they'll give you that $2,000 back, and then it's up to you whether you want to keep that money or reinvest it so you continue to earn the interest. And again, there's bigger ones. If you go over 5,010, you get an extra 0.2 on top of the daily interest. That term's only 179 days. And then for those of you that want to put in a whole lot of money and make money a lot faster, $10,010 to 100,000, you get a bonus 0.25% each day, and that's only being held for 120 days. So these bonuses are nice, and I'm going to show you what they're actually added to, because these are all on top of the daily interest rate. So once you get $100 in there, you would just type in, or if it's 100, and it's going to tell you how many BitConnect coins we actually lend BitConnect. So before I jump in too fast, let me just show you what's going on here. So once you first transfer your Bitcoin into your Bitcoin wallet, you're then going to come to the BCC exchange. And And here is where we will actually buy um, BCC, and that's what this platform requires. So you would just put in whatever amount of Bitcoin you have. Will show you can hit all, and it'll all show up here, like mine just did. And then it's going to tell you with that amount of money. This isn't very much, but just so you know what's going on, it's going to tell you you can buy this many BCC. So for my 0.002 Bitcoins, I can buy 0.078 BCC. And then I'm going to hit buy, and it's going to give me those, and it's going to fill in my BCC wallet with whatever amount that is. And then, like I showed you earlier, you're then going to come to the Lend BitConnect, and if you're trying to do $100, you would just type in $100, and that's telling me that you need 0.879. So you would just whatever amount you're trying to do. If you're trying to do $1,010, then you need 8.88 BCC. So that's all pretty easy. If you get the next thing I really want to talk to you about, because it's very important that you understand how compound interest works. And let me just show you a quote here. Wait, where'd it go? A quote by Albert Einstein. He says, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Okay, that's pretty powerful. And then he finally says, "Compound interest is the greatest mathematical discovery of all time." And what it does, basically what it is, for anybody that's investing in anything, compound interest is just the idea that you're having your money work for you. And I'm going to try to paint a picture for you with that. I created a spreadsheet that I think does a pretty good job of showing you. And if you sign up on my team, I'll definitely be able to get you a copy of this spreadsheet. So you'll have the group chat, the spreadsheet. But first, before I promote that, let me just show you what it does. So you put in whatever amount you want here. You can put $100, that's the minimum. You can put, $5,000 if you want, whatever you want to do. But let's just start with 100, because I know most people are probably, if you're like me, you're probably a little bit skeptical. So you're like, gosh, I just want to start with 100, see what happens after a couple weeks, and then maybe invest more. So let's just start with 100. And my goal here is to show you what this is capable of over the course of 2 years. So $100, which is the minimum, and we're going to see what happens over 2 years. This next little box that you can enter is your interest rate. This is an average interest rate. And so you're probably asking, well, where do you get that number? Let me show you here. Let's go to, there's a volatility software interest, which is what's going on here. They are trading off Bitcoin each day and paying out the interest. So you can see here the last few days, this is the interest rate that's been paid. So earlier I said 1%. Well, it's actually quite a bit more than 1% a lot of days. This was a down day, but all these days are great. If you look here, I like that they have these averages. So the last 30-day average is 0.95. The last 6 months, this is probably the most, probably the most accurate number here. The last 6 months is 0.91 percent each day. So like I mentioned earlier, if you have one of those, I'm going to X out of this real quick. If you have one of these larger amounts, so we'll just say 0.9 is the average, be a little conservative, and you had this amount invested, you would actually get 1%, because 0.9 plus 0.1 is 1%. If you had a deposit of this amount, that would equal 1.1%. But just to stay conservative, we're going to keep it at 0.9. I think it's smarter when you're doing investments to stay more on the conservative side. That way, if it does make more, you're excited. It's very positive. If you were to speculate that it would make say 1.5% each day, well, you're going to be kind of disappointed, because it could do that, but you're probably going to be disappointed because it's not going to be making as much as you expect. So I like to stay conservative. We'll say 0.9. And let me show you what's going on here. So we start with $100 invested, the average interest rate, and it could be 0.2 one day, it could be 1.5 one day, but we're just going to say that it averages 0.9 off $100. That's paying about 90 cents a day, and it's going to add up. So this is your lending wallet, which is what I showed you earlier. The lending wallet is right here. That's where all your money goes every single day, and it's going to start to add up as interest comes. And after it reaches $10, like I mentioned earlier, the minimum reinvestment or investment that you do has to be a multiple of 10. So on a reinvestment, let me show you that real quick. So if I want to lend BitConnect, the minimum I can do is $100. But once I have money in my lending wallet, I can do a reinvestment of just $10. So I could just put $10 in there, and it will let me invest that $10. So that's kind of nice. The reinvestment doesn't always have to be $100. So it could be, so $10 is nice. So let me show you how this works. So we add this up each day, getting paid an interest rate off of your $100, and all of a sudden you hit $10, $10.80, let's say. Then we reinvest the $10 and we have 80 cents left over. Now we're getting paid the daily interest rate off of $110. We let that add up again. So the first one took about 12 days. The next one is at day 22, so 10 days after that. Then we get another $10. We reinvest that. Now we're getting the interest rate off of $120. So that was at 22 days. The next one's at 31 days, so 9 days. So we went from 12 days to 10 days to 9 days. And as you'll see is that the amount of days between where we get $10 becomes less and less. So at 3 months, day 90, you can see here that it's only taken about 5 or 6 days for us to acquire another $10. But each time we get that $10, we got to reinvest it. This is what compounding looks like. You reinvest everything that you earn over time. And you can see here we're going to get to a 6-month mark, 180 days. We've now turned that $100 by reinvesting as often as possible into $470. That's now paying us about $4 a day. And if you see here, every 2 or 3 days, we can reinvest that $10. And we're just going to keep that going. So you can see these time frames get quicker and quicker as we grow this interest or this investment amount. Again, these interest rates are averaged. And so we're just going to let that grow. At the end of 1 year, so 1 year really isn't that long. At the end of 1 year, we've now reinvested every single dollar that we've made. Started with 100, we now have almost $2,500 in there, and we're getting paid the interest off of that, which is giving us a little over $20 a day, okay? And we're going to continue to reinvest that $20 a day. This number over here is if you were to just stop reinvesting and take this $20 or $22 a day and just cash it out every day and do that for the next 365 days. If you take $22 times 365, you'll have given yourself an $8,000 salary over the next year. So that's what this number is over here. That's if you're curious about that. But if we just let this grow, now we're getting $30 a day. We continue to reinvest it. What we're trying to do is grow this investment amount higher and higher. And it's really up to you how much you want to be making. So we have this first column here is how much we have invested. This third column here is how much it's paying out on average each day. So if you're happy with making $50 a day, stop there. You don't have to reinvest anymore. Just stop there and cash it out each day. I've made videos. There's plenty of videos out there to show how to cash money out. It's a 4-step process, but once you do it a couple times, it's very, very easy. It really doesn't take long at all. But let's say you just started to cash out $50 every day. Do that for an entire year. That's $18,000 more dollars in your pocket just from this. You started with $100, and all you did was reinvest, and now you're making $18,000 more a year. But let's keep going. Let's have fun with this and see where it takes us. 2 years. 2 years is not a very long time. If you're younger, you're in college, in high school even, you're probably thinking like 2 years is forever, but it really flies by. So at the end of 2 years, you've reinvested every single dollar. You now have $65,000 invested into this thing, into BitConnect, and you are earning an average interest rate of about 0.9. It could go higher, could go lower, but on average, 0.9. $587 a day. Let's say at that point you decide to stop reinvesting and you just want to cash out every single day from that point forward. You will have then paid yourself $214,000 in a year.